afternoon, everyone. This is RAND, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, February 14, 2025. We'll be having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about the monetary impact things are going to have on this country. And I don't mean negative. This universe is not just made of black and white colors. You look closer on a clear night and you'll see an entire rainbow of flavors. There is a vast multidimensional cosmic playground out there and inside you as well. We exist in a massive, multi-dimensional energy. And we don't see it with these eyes, but it is a fluid energy, which basically appears as everything. Takes on the form of anything and everything. And anything that you see, that you view, that you touch, is energy. There isn't anything that isn't. One might say, what about a rock? Form of energy. Tree. It really doesn't matter because the energy field of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever is woven, so to speak. And it expands, and it stretches, and it intensifies. And this is the blanket of creation which forms all of these universes. It would blow most people's minds to comprehend that we have trillions of interlinked, connecting universes. Now, the mind is too small of a vessel to comprehend that. But you realize that it is never ending. Right now, there are universes forming. And the energy field creates these universes. So what is directed to create these universes is the collective consciousness, which actually goes beyond consciousness. But we have been so compartmentalized and so put into these sinks that we think small and we believe small. It's because how we've been programmed. And if we breach that and we say, no, I am not going to go with that, I believe this, and so I will manifest this, no matter how big it is, right? But most of us will stay in that pigeonhole because it's all we really know. And then, of course, outside of that is the unknown. It's like when we prepare for this meditation, we find a comfortable place with no outside interference or distraction. We then begin to relax into our bodies. And we're as still as we possibly can be. As still as a statue is great. Focus on our breath rising and falling. That's it. This opens the door to a whole nother experience in existence. It is two kinds of existence. One is this physical material that mostly the species of this planet, the civilization, is entrenched in. And then the other one is one I just shared. Focus on the breath rising and falling and being in the now. That seems real simple at first. I think it seems simple to just about everybody. But we all know that when we're in this habit of the material physical life and not the spiritual life, it's a whole different ball game. We don't correlate. It's completely separate, but it really isn't. Because we're God's pure consciousness in these bodies. And why are we in these bodies? To experience things we couldn't experience outside the body. Now, that may sound strange too. But feel it. We, as I've shared, we don't have, as a ball of light, as pure consciousness, right, as the gods that we are, we don't have those sensations. We don't. There are beings that exist that have no emotion. They're in I guess you could call a physical form, but they don't have the ability to feel, right? To have pain, to have happiness or sorrow, bliss, joy, excitement, enthusiasm. They're like a void, okay? So what they do is they kind of live through us. They experience our emotions. Isn't that interesting? They experience our emotions. And see, this civilization has great compassion. These are all things we take for granted. We have great joy. We experience trauma, disappointment. We cry. We laugh. I mean, when you look at all of these things that we can experience in these physical forms, it's phenomenal. It's spectacular. But we don't think about that because we haven't visited or embraced who and what we are. You know, we come into these baby bodies and we're programmed. It's that simple. And whatever information is programmed with us is how we form our lives. It's just how we do it. And we learn along the way on how to compare things and, you know, hot and cold and all of the different experiences that we interface with as these bodies grow. And this is how we form our character and personality and exist or live in this life. But usually there's a big void there and we're not aware of it. The void is that we are not these physical material lives. We're something totally different. And it's so different than you saying, I'm gonna take a trip, something I've always wanted to do, right? And you say, I'm going to take a trip to Tahiti, Bora Bora, wherever, right? Or the Swiss Alps. Because you've always thought about it, always wanted to do it. And you say, you know, I've been playing around with this too long, I'm just going to do it. Period. Because it's one of those things that comes up and then it goes away and it comes up. And you just say, I'm going to go do it. Now, you don't know what you're going to experience, right? But you're not interested in that. You're interested in the adventure of something different, something new to you. And, of course, this is in the material physical life. Now, you're not thinking about that, you know, wait a minute, I'm not this body, I'm the God in the body. I'm the pure consciousness. That's what I really am. Most of us don't think that way. We're consumed, of course, with the emotionality of these bodies and this life that we're all in. It's like this big, huge playground. It never ends. It's just the playground is everywhere. Some of us get along, right? Others don't. There's all kinds of variances. But it's all spectacular. It's marvelous. It's magna glorious. How many of us actually believe, as we choose for ourselves, that this body that we're in, we created as a collective consciousness so that we could experience what? Physical, material life. Would you like to be a rock? Someone would say, well, that's kind of boring, just a rock sitting around. But the rock experiences a lot of things. Lasts a long time. Could last thousands of years. What about a tree that's just stay put? You admire this tree, you look at this tree is just a beautiful tree. Years ago, my mother said to me, she said, when I pass, take my ashes, and when you see, you will know when you see this tree, and I want you to put my ashes under that tree. Now, I haven't seen the tree, okay? And she's been gone almost 20 years, but I haven't seen the tree. So therefore, I still have the ashes in the urn, and I'll just wait one day when I see that tree. But, it's interesting how we identify things and how we interact with them, each other, ourselves. But we really don't realize that it's all part of us. We're all one. We're just different facets of the one. All of us gods make up the one God. That is phenomenal. You realize that we have trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of civilizations throughout the universes that are all gods, experiencing some form of life. And in a lot of cases, a lot of instances, we know who and what we are. But we also know this is going to be a great adventure. Living this life in this body is a great adventure. Now, you're not really focused on when you leave the body. You're focused on enjoying the body. And when you enjoy the body, you also enjoy the spirit. So you have that compare. You can compare. The real you is the spirit, is the God, is the pure consciousness. The body is something that you're using, created for you, to experience something different in a material, physical, energetic field. This is why so many of us gods become overly immersed in the physical material life, because it's exciting. I mean, there isn't one moment in any of our lives that isn't exciting. And many people would say, well, where is that? Where do you see that? We're not focused on it, so we aren't in gratitude with it. But to be able to taste, smell, sleep, wake up, look at all the different colors and all the different things that are happening all the time on this planet. I mean, it's a continual metamorphosis. We are evolving every atomic second. We're evolving. Now, some of us will actually stumble into discovery of that, wait a minute, I'm a God in this body, I am not this body, but this body's cool because I can experience all these things, which I wouldn't be able to do in my true form, and in my spiritual form, in my God form. You realize how phenomenal that is. And we take it for granted. To taste, to smell, to touch, to feel all these things. And see, this is why I have shared in the past that you want to know who and what you are, that you're not the body. You want to know that. Because what happens is that we then begin to realize that the body is temporary. You could be in the body for 20,000 years. It's still temporary. You're not going to stay in that body for 100,000 years because we like variety. And so we might pick some other form. And this is why we learn while in the physical material body. We learn. What do we learn? We discover that we're gods and that we're the light. You're the light. We're all the light. And how many depictions have you seen, or movies, or books, or whatever, where the light, you have to follow the light. Follow the light. That is a matrix structure that seduces us gods into this matrix which has been set up for a heaven, a hell, seeing all of the ones that you used to interact with, your loved ones that have long passed, but there they are, and the bodies they had on earth. Okay? Now, we don't think about this. We're just enamored with it. Oh, there's Uncle Bill, and there's Meredith, and look at them all. They're all here. They're all clapping, and they're all happy and everything. And it's fake, phony, and false. But what does it do? What is its purpose? It keeps us in the matrix. It's like a merry-go-round. Eh? It's almost like a catch-22. A circle jerk. We spend time in these bodies, and then we leave them. Now, we really don't have a comparison because we really don't know who and what we are when we do leave them. This is why we stay in this suspension, this suspended existence. It sounds kind of confusing, but we're suspended, active in a situation where we are constantly redoing it over and over and over again. And we don't remember. It's heaviness of this third dimensional frequency. It's a veil. It causes disruption in the field. So we stay and believe wherever our attention goes, energy flows. So we believe this. We actually keep it structured for us to enter. Now, when you leave the body, you don't know who and what you are. You still think you're the body. It happens a lot, okay? Then there's those of us who just kind of wander around because we don't know who and what we are. Some of us think we're alive when we're not. Alive meaning that we have a material physical body. Even though we carry that image, see, that material physical body is gone, but we don't know that. We still hold to it. We cling to it. This is why, if you look throughout the past on this planet, and most of the civilizations, just about all of them, they wouldn't bury, in most cases, they would cremate. They would burn the bodies. Why? So they would wait 72 hours and then he would burn the body. Why would they do that? So that the soul, spirit, consciousness does not get attached to it. See? And it can leave. But unfortunately, due to certain beliefs on this planet and different religions, you bury them in the ground. And a lot of what happens is that ghost that we call it, that spirit, is kind of locked here, wandering around the planet. And when that happens, they don't know that they are in spiritual, energetic form. They don't know that. They think that you are an intruder. Isn't that interesting? So when you discover, while you're in material physical form, you discover that you are not the body, you're the God, and you are the light. You're the light. No ifs, ands, buts about it. We're all the light. It's like the example is you put 1,000 suns behind you, you're the ball of light in front of those 1,000 suns. They're dim in comparison to your light. So you leave the body like most people, right? And eventually you're going to see this light. It comes in different ways. Very persistent. Very, very, very persistent. Doesn't go away, okay? You could say, no, I'm not interested in going into that light. That light will pursue you until you go into it. It's a trap. It's the reality. It's just a trap for us gods, so that we stay in this cycle. And we have this amnesia all the time. But see, this is a high motivational factor, and it will become more apparent as the civilization begins to embrace the gods that they are through the heart mind, master the ego mind, and the thoughts while in physical material form. Because we're all omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting abundant beings that never die. While we're in these bodies, we use the body to direct our energy flow, to create and manifest anything we choose, with no interruptions, no doubts, 100% trust, 100% faith, 100% confidence in ourselves and this universe. There's no teetering or tottering at all. This is what we're equipped with. This is what all of us have. It's not something that, oh, well, this group over here is special and they have those abilities, we don't. No, we all do. Okay? Now, because of the motionality of these physical forms, we're taught and trained and programmed, and we conceptualize in most cases, and we put things together that you would believe, right? And just about all of it is an illusion. So I believe that eventually that the civilization will start to embrace the fact to say, wait a minute, I really don't care to be in this merry-go-round that I can't get off. The merry-go-round's going around so fast that you just stay on the merry-go-round. And you just keep incarnating into different physical form. And you don't, and it's really interesting, you don't have memory of each stay in the body. You don't. You don't have any memory at all. You lose it. And this is part of the matrix. Matrix is 7 layers. Okay? You can go through some of the layers, and then you believe that you are, and I'm talking about out of body. I'm not talking about physical material. I'm talking about spiritual plane. And so you go through these different layers, whatever you want to call them, layers, blankets. And as you go through them and you surface on, say the third one, you feel like you're out of it. You're out of the matrix. That's its trickery. And then you realize that you're not out of it. And so you continue to increase your vibrational frequency. For instance, if you were to focus totally on this body that you're in, and you focused on the fact that the body could vibrate at such a high frequency that you could walk through walls. You could walk through metal walls and things that you would say there's no way in the world. What appears to be real is not real. It is a molecular structure. That molecular structure can be agitated to the point where that wall disappears, even though it's still there. And all of us have this power. The power is the gods that we are in the body. It is an exceptional power. It never drains. It always is regenerating itself because we're part of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It's like saying, this universe is out of juice. Universes never end. People think that they do. They don't. Why do you think you have a white hole and a black hole? The white hole puts material into the universe, and that material forms into planets and stars and the rest. And it just keeps expanding, and it connects to other universes that connect to other universes that connect to universes. It's an endless landscape, so to speak. And it's because we're always creating as the gods that we are. We're always creating. Who creates AI? We do. Other species do. They create AI. So who created AI? The gods that we are, through physical material form. Now, it's no different than a bunch of children playing, okay? And they have matches. They don't know what those are. One of them seems they got a box of matches, maybe from mom or dad they saw the box of matches and they want to know what the heck are those? And so they start playing with the matches. First, they can't figure out how to light them, and then they notice a strip on the side, so they slide, and it goes up in flames, and they get burned really bad. That's similar to what happens with AI. A bunch of children playing with something they don't really comprehend, but believe they do through the ego mind, and they create something that's very dangerous. But they don't know how dangerous it is. It's like anything. This is how powerful we are. Imagine, most of us don't even a smidgen realize how powerful we are as gods in these bodies. A kernel maybe, a little teeny crumb, a grain of sand. Why? It's because we've been constantly programmed, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, to believing the opposite. Isn't that wild? We have been trained to believe the opposite. And when we venture and we try, and then we go into discovering who and what we are, and not half-ass, a little bit here, a little bit there, but all the way, then it begins to open up, and then the answers come pouring through, to realize that we are the only things that are truly real. Everything that changes is not real. We are the only things that don't change, the gods that we are in these bodies. Sure, we progress from the standpoint of divine perfection because we are all divine perfection. The gods that we are, the pure consciousness. And we create. You know why? Because it's why we were created, to create. Who created us? Pure consciousness did. Who created pure consciousness? That which never dies, beyond consciousness. It could get pretty sticky for many people because their minds are too small containers to comprehend this. But we eventually, every one of us throughout existence and beyond, will discover who and what we are. And we won't do it through ego mind. It cannot happen through ego mind. It only happens in the now and heart-mindedness. That's when you manifest. In the now and heart-mindedness. And the past several years, as I've been doing these meditations, I've been adding just little kernels that seem small on the outside but humongous on the inside. Because it's never-ending information. Not only does it connect all the dots, it expands out beyond the universes. We are not going to stay in the mix that we've been in for so very long. We will evolve and we will move out of that and begin to experience other things. The whole focus on this planet, no matter what's going on, is to choose to focus within. That's it. Now, is it a negative if you don't? No. Is it a negative if you do? No. You choose to do it because you feel in your heart-mind that it is time to discover that you're the God, the pure consciousness in that body, that you're not the body, that everything on this planet that you have orchestrated or put together is temporary. The body's temporary, everything's temporary. You are forever, the God that you are. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close this up. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Sometime today, get out a pen and paper and for 20 minutes write down everything you appreciate about yourself. Small or big, doesn't matter. Just keep writing these positive statements down. Then choose the top 3 most emotionally moving appreciations on your list. And sit down and feel these ideas inside your body. Notice where you keep them inside. Post your list on a wall where you can read it and add to it any time in the future. Whatever you discover, revisit it again and again and again throughout the day. Take this with you for the rest of the day, in the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here tonight, Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2025, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern for our reverse aging health call and all the rest. Saturday, February 15, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on inside you or out there. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.